self-control and self-discipline to grow physically, mentally, through mouth, speech and thoughts and actions. So these three are very important. So then Lord explains what is sattvic, rajasic and tamasic tyaga. Then he goes on to explain that if you don't do tyaga, meaning mentally renounce everything of this world, mentally renounce everything, the phala, as well as he's not saying don't collect your salary. He's saying collect your salary, but don't be attached that if the salary is more or less, we get so stressed, so anxious, and so we commit suicide. People do that, right? Okay, or do morcha and hartal. So basically, because we have come here for attaining wisdom and knowledge that comes from the works and actions, we have not come here to accumulate riches. Riches and success and fame does not go beyond the grave, but the wisdom and knowledge that we acquire goes beyond the grave. So that is a sure proof. Lord is saying that is what we have come to collect here. We came here to get wisdom, to get knowledge, not to collect money, not to have fun, not to, waste time, not to, every other thing like, fame and name and kursi and pada and all that is not what is important. It is important only in our ego consciousness. So that is a beautiful teaching of the Gita. And that's why we have to work with that consciousness. We have to work. So that is why Tyaga has to be done. Not because God wants our money, not because God wants anything from us. He doesn't need anything. Then Lord says, Anishtamishtam Mishram Cha. 12th shloka. Trividam karmana phalam bhavati tyaginam pretya natu sannyasinam kutyat. So in mentally, if you say God is doing this, I have to do something. God is making me do this and give it to the Lord. Then there's no anishta or ishta or mishra, no phala of it. So you become free from karma bandhana even while living, when you're alive. So that is the way to be a karma yogi, to be in this world and not to be of this world. Simply doing actions and enjoying life is not karma yoga. Even if we work till we are 90, 100, but we are attached to the actions, attached to the results of the actions, that is not karma yoga, that's plain karma. And in fact, we have become karmis who are attached to the action. We can't do life without being attached to the action. So you remember, it's very deep. Gahana karmano gati. So karmis are people who work just because they can't do anything else. Just to keep less anxiety-free life, they have to work. That's not what Lord is explaining. That is, again, attachment to actions. So it is a very deep science of karma, to be free from this world. So get that straight. So then Lord says, let me dissect karma for you. And Panchaitani Mahabaho Karanani, Bodhame Sankhya Kritanti Proktani Siddhe Sarvaka. In Sankhya, it's explained these 5 types of why karma happens at all. It all happens because of Prakriti. Everything is happening inside Prakriti. Purusha is not involved at all. He's just coming, entering, observing, enjoying, and going. Okay, Adhishtanam Tata Karta Karanam Chitagudam Vidashchita Daivam Chaivatram. And because we have created some kind of destiny, Daivam, next life we continue with. Sharira Vangmano Biryat, from the Vak Sharira and Manas, karma happens. Tatraivam Satikartaram Atmanam. So Atma doesn't do anything. If you are deluded of mind, you think the Atma is doing everything, Atma is getting attached. No, it is not. Because Atma is nothing but Brahma himself. He is Kutastha himself. Our Lord says, Yasya nahankrito bhavo buddhiryasin lipyate atvapi iman lokan bhanti. If your buddhi and ahankar is not there, you're not attached to anything in this world. Meaning, in the sense, you should not get your intellect and your ego to be attached to the actions that are happening. Then Lord talks about 3 types of jnana. We understood what it is. Sarva bhuteshu enaikam. Ekam. So all beings universally, you think they are one. Avibhaktam vibhaktesh. Although you see them differently, you know that internally they're all one. So any study which is like that is sattvic jnana. When you cut up things and study it pratak pratak, separate, veti sarveshu bhuteshu tad jnanam rajasam. So then What is tamas jnana? Any knowledge which is against truth, which causes body identification, attachment, and does not give any satisfaction. That is tamasic karma, the jnana. Then Lord goes on to explain karma with detached actions without any passion and desire filled action, desire filled, non-desire filled actions are sattvic karma. 24 is rajasic karma. That is bahulayasam, full of desire. I want this, I want so. We put any amount of energy and intention to achieve that. Ayasam means energy, a tremendous amount of effort. Then anubandham kshayam himsam, which is causing destruction of self and others. Himsam causing pain and trouble to other animals, myself, the world, and also causing excessive attachment and kshaya, destruction of nature, destruction of animals. All activities which are like that are considered tamasic. It will put you into adhogati. So now, according to Bhagavan Krishna, Prani Bali is totally no. Whatever Purana says, this, they say this, that. Bhagavan Krishna said the last final verdict. He said, no, you can't kill an animal, you can't. You can't cut a tree, you can't. Can't destroy anything. So when you do it, it is tamasic action. Then karta. Karta is the agent. That is you and me who are doing it. So there are three types. Sukha, jnana, karma, and karta. Karta is mukta sango and anahamvadi. Dutyutsaha samanvita siddhya siddhyo nirvikara karta. This has been explained many times, like typically like a very detached personality. Anahamvadi. And it's okay, work happened. Detachedly, you're doing it for the higher being because you're here. Ragi karma phala prepsu, one who is wanting karma phalas and full of passion and desire is lubdho himsatmaka ashuchi. He'll go to any extent to attain his work very hard, disturb himself also. Harsha shokanvita, get very sad, very upset, extremely excited, or extremely depressed. Rajasic karta. Ayukta prakrita stabda shatonaikriti kolasaha. Vishadi dirgha sutricha karta tamasam uchyate. So it doesn't do the right actions, always confused, full with, confusion and unaware, and also will struggle to do something very hard, but he'll keep procrastinating, he'll never complete it. That is tamasic. And actions themselves are bad. So now Lord will, today is we starting from 29. We've understood so far, right? So completely understand. Now to do karma, Lord introduces three more things. He says, बुद्धेर्भेदं धृतेश्चैव गुणस्तत्त्रिविधं शृणु प्रोच्यमानमशेषेण पृथक्त्वेन धनञ्जय. Lord says to do any kind of karma. See, we are dissecting the karma, right? So to do any kind of karma now, Lord says that there are three more things required. What do we require? Buddhi bhedam. We need intellect. Intellect should be clearly discriminative. Buddhi bhedam. Dhriti. Dhriti is the capability, determination. Determination, you can say, Guruji uses the word fortitude. What is fortitude? Dhriti means that willpower in whenever we're doing some activity or karma, it will have a lot of problems in between. That is the way of the world. There is not a single person in this world who doesn't have problems. Yeah, so there is going to be a lot. So that capability to keep pushing through problems, that is what we learn in being a human being. Not only human, even a deva has problems. Problems are there across in all the three lokas, three universes. So one who can work through with tremendous willpower, strength, that is called fortitude. That is called dhriti. Okay, Lord says that, or you can say determination also. That is dhriti. Cha eva. So if you need to do a karma, accomplish something in life, anything, you need buddhi, then buddhi vedam, that is discriminative action, and then you have dhriti, determination. Cha eva gunastha trividam shrunu. Listen, shrunu. This also depends on the intrinsic guna that one possesses. Prochamanam asheshena. I will tell you without leaving out any detail. Like asheshena is without having a single remainder. Prataktwena, which is very different. Dhananjaya. All these distinctly, I'll tell you what it is. So we need buddhi, dhriti in doing karma, right? So this is also required to do karma. So let us see what is the buddhi. Lord says, pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya karye bhaya bhaye bandham moksham cha ya vidhi dhritis sapartha satviki. Satvik. Buddhi sapartha satviki. So Lord is saying pravritti is to do activities. Nivritti is renounce activities. Okay. Karya is proper set of duties. Akarya is improper duties. Bhaya is fear. Abhaya is fearlessness. So bandha is bandhan ho jana. Moksham is freedom ana. So chaya veti. Veti is Veda. Veda means to be knowing, aware, knowledge. Buddhi sa partha satvik. So if your buddhi has clear distinction, what is the right activity to do? Pravritim, where I should start working. Nivritim, where I should stop talking, where I should start talking, or where I should start working, where I should stop working. Nivritim, it's a karya akari. What is the right duty? What is the wrong duty? So if one possesses bhaya abhaya, what duty is going to give me fearlessness? What duty is going to give me fear? What is going to bind me, bandham? What is going to liberate me, moksham? Jayavetti. When we know this, that is a sattvic, clear-headed person, pure. I give you examples. This is easy to understand, but when we come into real life, how do we accept this? For example, we are supposed to do something. A child is to study. Okay, he has to go to school and study. But suppose he sits on the mobile phone. After sometimes he feels restless. And after a longer time of sitting on Facebook or Instagram or God knows what, instead of studying, but his parents will not know, he'll be sitting in his study room or his room locked and he'll be just sitting on the phone till say 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So that is not sattvic. That is akarya. He knows and he'll start getting bhaya. There is a kind of restlessness inside, fear. And it is going to cause his mind to get diluted. So he will start getting that fear inside. So observe this faculty in every person's life. We all know it. When we have to meditate, for example, you're a sadhaka. Your guru has told you have to meditate. You have to do this yajna, you have to do this havan, you have to do nam jap, you have to do mahamantra. And suppose you procrastinate, you will be very restless because that is the soul feeling anxiety. That is causing fear. So if you observe, it happens. When this continues for a long time, man becomes depressed. Man becomes very restless. That is why Satvika Buddhi is very important. Very important. And doing that activity of worship or anything will also increase the Satvika Buddhi. We already know it when with these things are. Like for example, that is the reason suppose any person, you go on vacation, you can't go for vacation more than 7 days, 10 days. After 10 days, 12 days of vacation, you will start feeling very restless because you know that vacation should be yukta ahara, yukta vihara. It should be balanced. That's what yukta shteshasya karmasu. Even karma should be balanced. Overworking will cause restlessness. Vihara, excessive vihara will also cause restlessness. 1 or 2 weeks after that vacation, you feel very restless. You want to come back. So everyone goes through this. So that is why, because it's a rule which is programmed into each one of us. Our soul knows why we've come here. It is not interested to go on vacation, Italy, America, here, ye dekhna, wo dekhna. It is interested in why it has come. And when the soul starts moving inside, the agent also moves. So that is the voice of the soul. So now let us see the the buddhi, which is rajasic. I gave you the example. Let us look at rajasic buddhi. Yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam cha karyamev cha ayathavat prajanati Buddhissa Partha Rajase. What is Rajasic Buddhi? What is intellect which is Rajasic? Yaya Dharmam Adharmam Cha. Karyam Cha Akaryam Evacha. Ayathavat. Ayathavat is the key word here. Ayathavat is to get, not very sure of it, confused, worried, not very sure if should I do this. My elders are saying that in our Devi temple, we have to always give Bali. This is a typical example I come across every time. Should I, contribute to that or not? Should I go for that festival or not? Ayathavat, Prajanati, na janati, So Prajanati is like to know, not to be aware of. Confused awareness. Buddhissa Partha Rajasi. So you don't know which is dharma and adharma. Whether it is dharma, which I'm doing, or adharma. Karya is a dutiful action or undutiful action. Very interesting. The answer for this lies in the Gita itself. You should not, he says, na anubandham chayam himsam. So he says, you should not, how will you come to know if something is karya, akarya? Use your buddhi to do the right thing. Choose which is good, universally good for every being. So you have that internally, I have programmed it for you, right? Lord is saying. So why are you confused? Why are you saying go and kill people means that God will be happy? Jihad is not right. How can you kill people in the name of God? You can't hurt even a small little, insect, Lord is saying. It's my being. So it's already pre-programmed. Okay. Then Lord, now we come to that part. Buddhi. When the Buddhi is diluted, he says, Adharmam dharmamithya manyate tamasavrita sarvartan viparitamscha buddhi sapartha tamasi. This is tamasic. What it is? Adharmam dharmam itiya manyate. You know internally you're doing wrong. Observe your buddhi. It will tell you. Adharma. It is what you're doing. You're cutting off the neck of an animal. Like you're doing prani bali. You're killing a cow. You're killing a goat. Adharmam dharmam iti ya manyate. But your buddhi is so deluded, you can't listen to your conscience anymore. Tamasa avrita, because it's filled with darkness. Sarvartan viparitamscha. All that is being explained by God inside your conscience or in the universal religions, you think it is wrong and you do ulta of it. Viparita. Viparitamscha. Buddhi sapartha tamasi. That kind of buddhi is tamasic buddhi. You're causing ahimsa, kshaya, himsa. You're deluded, you're confused, you're doing the wrong thing again and again. All the people have told you, or internally your voice says no. That is tamasic buddhi. But thankfully, the world is not in tamas anymore. Just about how many years back? 325 years back, we were in tamasic nature. We were in Kali Yuga. Sandhi period, we were in before that. So 200 years of Sandhi. So we were at least before that. So you could say in the Mughal times, we were thoroughly in tamasic. In the sense, when your brother is getting killed, so you would not go to help. Everyone was in the entire nature was in tamas. You were accepting things which are not right as your own righteousness. You were going and cutting off people's heads in the name of religion, in the name of doing service to God, or and you were killing saints. Arjun Dev, or how he was burnt, or Lord Christ was crucified. Many multiple disciples of Jesus Christ over 1,200 years were crucified again and again, killed again and again in the Western world. Why? Buddhisa tamasi. It was all tamasic nature. Extensive tamas. Extensive tamas was there. So now they don't crucify saints. Now they don't crucify even people. They are also talking about animal rights. So you know that we are growing in nature. Then Lord says that in those times also, if you notice, in the Kali Yuga, the nature also will be very dry, hot. There's so many explanations of so many famines, so many diseases on earth without medicine. Why? Because the tamasic times are like that. Now we are in rejection mode. Then Lord says, धृत्यायया धारयते मनप्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः स पार्थ सात्विकी. Dhriti, determination to do something, tremendous determination. So Lord says this dhriti yaya dharayati, by which dharayati, you hold on to something very strongly. What you'll hold on? Mana prana indriya kriyaha. That is controlling the mind, controlling the life force within, controlling the senses and its activities inside. This is the most highest dhriti. Very difficult to control the mind, the senses, the prana. Yeah? Indriya kriyas. How you do it? Through yoga. Avyabhicharena, without wavering. With very avyabhichara is like not oscillating, not moving here and there. With such steady focus and determination. Who told you to sit and meditate for 4 hours? Nobody's told you, right? But you do it. Some souls do it. Dhriti sapartha satvik. That kind of highest control, internal determination is sattvic determination. God is saying only yoga is sattvic determination, basically. Not for karma, not for external karma, internal. Now, what is rajasic determination? Lord says, because sattvic is the highest determination. Next one, Lord says, yaya tu dharma kamartan dhritya dharayate arjuna prasangena falakankshi dhritissa partha rajasi. Lord says, by which yaya to dharma kama arthan dhritya. So you'll hold on, steadfast you'll work in dharma. Okay, dhriti sapartha rajasi. So we do dharma. Dharma here can be even puja, even to do yajnas. People do yajnas or pujas to get some results, right? Like putra kamishti yajna, that yajna. That also. That doing that kind of dharma, or dharma here can be also mentioned as your activity, your office work or your housework, your householder's work. Okay, duty, any kind of duty that is. And then kama, you'll also pursue pleasures and also dharma kama artha means wealth and success. All this we pursue with strong determination because we're attached to the results, we're expecting some results. So this is basically whatever we do in a regular household family work without having tyaga in mind, without having renunciation in mind. So that is rajasic. यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं विषादं मदमेव च न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधा धृतिः सा पार्थ तामसी. So Lord says, what is tamasic dhriti or what is tamasic determination? So Lord says here, there is work involved, but yaya work ke beach mein or throughout the work you are swapna, dreaming too much, stupid dreams, which are not like building castles in the air, like you're sitting under a tree in the village and thinking you're the king, prime minister of the country. So swapnam, it's not simply, you're doing bhayam. There's also fear involved in that. Shokam, because you cannot fulfill it, you're upset. Vishadam is to, have deep shoka, tremendous amount, anxiety, constant anxiety will be there. Madamevacha. And whenever something is done, there's so much of arrogance, conceit, something. Madam. Okay. Now vimunchanti. You can't take out your determination from these kinds of things. Nirmeda. Dhritissa partha tamasi. Then your determination is tamasic. Is anxiety filled, fear filled, you're procrastinating, filled with mistakes. There's fear, shoka, bhaya. Meaning these kinds of emotions are happening when you're doing whatever work you're doing. Then your determination is basically tamasic determination, meaning even the karma is tamasic perhaps. Hence, these things will bring in such kind of fear in man. And you know somewhere deep down it's wrong. And if the police catch you, you're going to go into the jail. So this is a kind of typically murderous robbery. You're planning, they say you plan robbers and all plan with so much deep detail. They'll plan. 3, 4 people will sit. They will, do this. If you've seen robbery videos, you'll understand how much planning goes in. They'll oil their bodies. They'll get masks. They'll take away fingerprints. How to open the lock. How to break open this. That. So much yukti. But that's all tamasic, right? And they may say, no, not today. Tomorrow we'll do. No, next month we'll do. Because it's a windfall which they're going to get. They have not earned that money. So they want to procrastinate. And somewhere there's fear. And then they'll sleep through the day. All this. For example, you can take such, examples. Now Lord says Sukha. Sukha also has 3 types of modalities. Now, what happens at the result of work? We get happiness. So this is Sukha. What kind of happiness we are enjoying after doing that karma? That is also Sattva Rajas Tamas. Now, this is very fascinating. Why? Because now we understand why there are a billion types of beings in this world, and a billion types of actions, and a billion types of modalities, thought processes. And perhaps 2 people doing the same thing will not get the same result. 2 people doing even having the same dhriti will not have, because their karma may be different, their renunciation may be different, the tyaga may be different, their jnaya might be different, the goal of what they're doing is different. You see how different it is. मैंने भी वो ही किया, पर मुझे फर्स्ट रैंक नहीं आया. क्यों नहीं आया? मैं भी 3-3 घंटा पढ़ी, वो भी 3-3 घंटा पढ़ा, तो उससे फर्स्ट रैंक आ गया, मुझे नहीं आया. Kids do this. So where is the difference? It is in very deep inside, whether it is the guna which one possesses. The guna one possesses. This is very important. So if one practices sattvic karma, sattvic buddhi, sattvic determination, sattvic tyaga, sattvic jnana, sattvic jnaya, goal also, sattvic jnana, and sattvic karma activities, then results will be sattvic sukha. Let us see what is sattvic sukha. Lord says, Sukham tvidanim trividam Runime bharatarshapha abhyasadramate yatra dukkhantam shanigachati. So hence, according to all these processes inside, we get the result. And the joy of that karma also is of 3 types. Lord says, Sukham tu idanim tu trividam. Hence, there are 3 types of enjoyments also. Shrunume bharatarshaba. O Bharata, understand this. So this is the level at which the web of karma is knit in this Prakriti. So not a single thought, not a single action goes missed by that artificial intelligence or that internet of God. Everything is observed at a very basic level, at the dhriti, at the thought level. And the result in everything is according to that what one possesses. Abhyasat ramate yatra. So by practicing this, ramate, you will enjoy. Ramate yatra. Here, in which or here, dukkhantam, your dukkha will end, chanigachati, you will attain no, sukha. Okay, if you understand what kind of enjoyment you're doing also. Then Lord explains what is sattvic sukha. It's very interesting. He says, Yathadagre vishamiva pariname amritopamam tatsukham sattvikam proktam atmabuddhi prasadajam yat tat agre. In the beginning, agra means beginning. Visham iva, it is difficult to do. It's like poison. It's very difficult to do. And, there's no, instantly you feel, why am I doing all this? Pariname amrita upamam. Upamam is eating. Amrita is nectar. Parinama is end. That sukham satvikam proktam. Proktam is called. So that sukha is called satvik. Atma buddhi prasadajam. It is, it is, it gives you atma buddhi, self knowledge, knowledge of what you are inside. It's tough to do. It's poisonous. In the beginning, it looks so boring. Yoga, hatha yoga, energization exercises, kriya pranayama, or any meditation, any yajna. It is very, very intense and difficult. So, but then at the end, you know that it is going to cleanse your karmas, remove your anxiety, make you stress free, and take you towards moksha. At the deathbed, only this is considered what we have done for wisdom, right? Not the amount of, riches and glories that we have. So called 10 people said, oh, it was so smart, that person was so smart. It's not important. All that is not important. What we gained through that activity, that wisdom is important. So that is Sattvika Sukha. You will really be happy in the end. Vishayendriya samyogat yatadagre amritopamam pariname vishamiva tat sukham rajasam smritam. So Rajasic Sukha. Instant joy, instant noodles jaise. Pleasure is immediate. Vishaya Indriya Samyogat. The way you can understand is there is an object of pleasure and there is a sense. We have sense organs, right? We have 5 ears, eyes, nose, tongue, and actions. We do something which touches something outside. Outside is Vishaya. Samyoga is joining. It is not yoga. Samyoga is union. External union is called Samyoga. So Lord says, so it's like something like contact, sparsha. So anything, like for example, you put ice cream on your tongue, instant joy. A chocolate on your tongue or mango on your tongue, instant joy. Watch a movie, watch something beautiful, go for a vacation, look at the Himalayas, look at everything. You're looking. It is Rajasic Sukha. It is, even if we go, see, that's how you go to Himalayas, you watch the Nanda Devi, you are going to enjoy the scenes with your eyes. Then it's a Rajasic Sukha. It is not a spiritual journey, pilgrimage. So to classify it into the spiritual journey, you should do some tapas or sadhana there. You should struggle. So then you will get the Sattvika Sukha. Then it is classified as a pilgrimage. So even the pilgrimage, can be classified as whatever it is, according to your thought process. Are you going to enjoy there? Or are you excited about the travel? And see, observe it. Even if you're going to Ranchi, for example, you're going to see the birds and the bees and things like that. Rajasic Sukha. If you're just, going to see what is Ranchi, okay, I'll meet that Swamiji. I will talk to him. Rajasic. Because talking to him gives me pleasure. Talking to Swamiji gives me pleasure. Remember that. That's not what Krishna advises. Krishna advises struggle inside, be in silence, meditate, get Atma Buddhi. So that is Sattvika Sukha. So get it? So get it, right? So listening to the pravachan of a Swamiji, sitting in silence, keeping silence, not talking to anyone. That is Sattvika Sukha. So if you're going for Rajasic pleasure, it is a Rajasic activity. It is not a spiritual activity. So see, get the difference at the basic. So that's why Guruji says, when you're going for satsanga, even if you're going for a sadhana sangham, of course, there in sadhana sanghams and all, you will be forced to meditate so that you will get some sattvika sukha. But there are people, oh, I'm going to meet my friends. I'm going to meet that person. I met that person 2 years back. I'm going to see that person. Will you come in my October Sangam? Will you come? Let's all meet. Rajasic Sukha. Okay. So, see, the Lord is so clear about Rajasic Sukha. Now let's say, Vishaya Indriya Samyoga happened. Yatat Agre Amrita Upamam, like eating nectar initially, so happy, excited. Pariname Vishamya. Then there's always, after excitement and happiness, we are going to get some negative result, right? So Pariname, it is Rajas. यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च सुखं मोहनमात्मनः निद्रालस्य प्रमादोत्थं तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्. So what is tamasic happiness? Lord says, yatad agre cha anubandhe cha sukham mohanam atmanah. I'm just breaking the words, you'll understand it immediately. Okay. From the beginning, agre cha anubandhe. So from the beginning only, it is binding you, that activity. I think of very evil activities. You mean in your planning state only, it's wrong. You know it's wrong. Okay. Mohanam anubandhecha. Sukham mohanam atmanah. This sukha is very delusory, full of delusion. Mohanam atmana. For the self. It binds the self and full of delusion. It also, because you put so much effort into it, nidra alasya pramada. It will also give you sleep. Alasya is laziness and pramada is mistakes. It will make you do mistakes. Uttam. You'll get this as the result. You'll be tired. You will feel lazy after that, and you'll also have made a mistake. Tat tamasam udaharatam. That is called tamasik sukha. If that sukha gave you, if some sukha came like that, then it is tamasik sukha. I'll give you example of people who are not very mentally deranged kind of people, especially you see them in the Western civilization, very common. Drug addicts, alcoholics, and murderers, serial killers. They're very common. Nowadays in India also it's happening. Why? Because, husband killing wife, wife killing husband. These are all tamasic. Why? Because we are following the Western civilization. And there is a very interesting concept that India was a very protected country. For eons, centuries, India was not mixing with other countries. The Devas did not allow it. Why? Because even Ramayana times or Mahabharata times, not so much mixing used to happen. It was very spiritual atmosphere India was. Okay. So whenever it mixed, it got destroyed. So it's like an experiment for the Devas. They say very ancient times when Kashyapa Muni started this world, Brahma sent Lord Kashyapa to this world and said, okay, now propagate this earth. It seems Kashyapa had 14 children, 14 wives. You have heard of it. Danu, Aditi, Diti, so many. Kadru, Vinata. You can Google, you'll get all the names. So they all had children, I believe. And all those 14 wives gave birth to different types of fundamental beings, I believe. And amongst them, when Dhanu created children and Diti created children, their children became very promiscuous, fun loving, enjoyment oriented, because they were, they were begotten in the night time. So according to Ayurveda also, one should not have physical relation with your spouse in the night time. It should always be in the daytime. There are specific times and the specific days and kalas when it's allowed in Ayurveda. That is called dinacharya, ritucharya and all that. We have to study Ayurveda very deeply. Okay. So it did not happen. These are the scriptural injunctions. When the samyoga happens during that time, the children born will be sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. So Kashyapa Muni's children who were born tamasically were very promiscuous, very, addictive and whatever. So the ones who are Aditi's children who lived on earth, or in India, in Bharatavarsha, Jambudvipa, they asked them to leave and they were asked to move to the Western world or the Northern worlds or to the Eastern worlds. So those who were Sattvic continued to remain in India. India is Bharatavarsha. So that is how the propensity in the DNA continues from ancestral DNA. The same thing continues. Of course, now Varnasankara has happened, mixture has happened. That is why if you see the river that flows through Germany is called Danube, the gift of Danu. Who was Danu? The mother, the gift of Danu. So you can actually see Caspian Sea, the Sea of Kasyapa. So the children who moved out that side, our ancestors, maybe or 24,000 years back, 30,000 years back, they named themselves like that. So whether it's the Red Indians, whether it is the British, whether it is the English, the Caucasians, the Persians who have got a mixed genes, okay, and whether it's the Vikings were the Danavas, the Daityas were, the Asuras were Asurbanipal. They were ruling Persia and all. So the name also contained the word Asura. So the ancestors were like that. So they continued to consume alcohol, have promiscuous relationships, and things like that. So this all became a very rajasic and tamasic plane. And so India was always sattvic. So Bharatavarsha becoming like rajasic and tamasic was required later after the Mahabharata war. Why? Because Lord realized if if you want the earth to evolve, then Indianness or the Satvikata of India should go and mix. But in the ulta kya ho raha hai? We are in India, it is becoming rajasic and tamasic. So this is our history. That's why Guruji very clearly mentions in one footnote in Autobiography for Yogi, India is the cradle of civilization. It is not Africa. It is not Africa. In antediluvian times, where did humanity start from? Somewhere in India, Manu and Shatrupa. So that is why in the Bible, Genesis also, although they say Adam and Eve, read clearly between the lines. Maybe Adam and Eve propagated the Western civilization further, but deep in history, Kashyapa Muni and his wife. And they say very fascinatingly, Adam and Eve had many daughters. Before they had Abel and Cain. So one of them killed the other. There only they become murderers. So then what happens? Then who continues to live? Cain continues to live, and he married the daughters of men. Now, if you're saying Adam and Eve were the first man and woman, whose daughters did Cain marry? Question mark. So there were humans already existing when Adam and Eve came to the Western world. Yeah. So remember that. These are very fascinating information I'm giving. So now this is about Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic. Now with that, we've completed. यदग्रे चानुबन्धे च सुखं मोहनमात्मन निद्रालस्य प्रमादत्वं तत्तत् तामसमुदाहृतम्. So then Lord says, now very fascinating, he declares, he says, Natadasti prativyam va divi deveshu va puna sattvam prakriti jair muktam yadhe bisyatre virgunaihi. Natat asti prativyam va divi deveshu. Not tat asti is there, Prithivya in this Prithvi, or Divi in the celestial abodes, that is of the Devas. Puna again, Sattvam Prakriti Jair Muktam. So every world, every country, every world, every loka contains these three kinds of beings, Sattva, Rajasic and Tamasic kind of beings. And also they are mixed up. Sattva, Rajasic, Tamasic. Puna, Sattvam Prakriti Jair Muktam. So Lord says, no, every realm, every loka will have Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic beings. Okay, that's why we have Asuras and Devas fighting there also. Muktam. Yatat ebi syat tribir gunaihi. So they are also having three gunas. They are not free. They are not mukta, liberated from them. So Triguna, Prakriti, Divine Mother, acts from top to bottom, all the 14 lokas. All the 14 lokas. Only thing we can say is, as the loka goes progresses further and further, it is more sattvic up. And a realized soul can get away from all the three. That's what Lord is going to explain how to get free from sattva, rajasic, and tamasic gunas. Now Lord says something very fascinating for earth. He says, ब्राह्मण क्षत्रिय विशाम शूद्राणाम च परंतपा कर्माणि प्रविभक्तानि स्वभाव प्रभवैर्गुणैः. So Lord says very interesting. I'll read all the 4 shlokas. It's related about Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishyas. Shamo damastapa shaucham shantirarjavameva cha jnanam vijnanamastikhyam brahma karma swabhavajam शौर्यं तेजोधृतिर्धाक्ष्यं युद्धे चाप्यफलायनं दानमीश्वरभावश्च क्षात्रं कर्म स्वभावजं कृषि गौरक्षवाणिज्यं वैश्यकर्म स्वभावजं परिचर्यात्मकं कर्मं शूद्रस्यापि स्वभावजम्. Lord says Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, okay, Vaishyas, also Shudras, Cha Parantapa, O Parantapa, Arjuna, Karmani. These their duties also Pravivaktani have been distributed as follows: Swabhava Prabhavair Gunaihi. It is inside their personality. Okay, inborn nature, Prabhavai Gunaihi, because of the Prabhav of the Gunas. So Lord is now saying Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra has to be classified not based on externally whether your father was a Brahman or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya Shudra, but based on what is your inborn Swabhava. What do you like to do in life? When you're born only, they will show, you've seen this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, 4 things they'll keep in those, during that Annaprashna, those, Kriyas. They'll keep money, they'll keep Bhagavad Gita or the Vedas and books which are not very appealing to the eyes when you see for a child. And then, there's show money, which is like coins and all. Brahmana is there, Kshatriya is there. Vaishya, they will keep some, Vaishya will be money. Then Kshatriya, they'll keep some, used to keep some, whatever. Vaishya activity, Kshatriya activities like Dhanush Ban and everything. And Shudra will be some tools, like, carpentry tools, plumbing tools. The child is kept in front of them after Annaprashanam and asked to touch something. Apparently, a Brahmin child will pick the Vedas and the Gita, even though it's not very appealing to the eyes. Most children will go to the shining coins, which is gold, silver, or something. And then many children will pick, Dhanush Ban. And then many children will pick the tools because they're excited. So that shows, it seems, I don't know, but that's a custom. Nowadays, not many people follow it. So Lord says, but you can definitely make out from their swabhava, their personality, how they speak, what kind of work. You've seen some people who say, I want to start a business. I definitely want to start a business. He's a born Vaishya. Okay. He's a born Vaishya. So you see, Lord will explain here. Shamo, Dama, Tapa, Shaucham. Mind control is Shama. Shama means silence, peace of mind. So it's mind control. Dama is control of senses. Tapa is disciplined life. Shaucham, purity. Child will bathe very deeply. Try to keep pure. You'll see. Shanti, immediately forgiving. Arjavam, very straightforward. आपने झूठ बोला? नहीं, हमने झूठ नहीं बोला. हम सच बोल रहे. You've seen some children very forthcoming. Jnanam, Vijnanam, Astikyam. You teach them something, instantly they want to learn. Vijnana, even if it is about God. Jnana is general knowledge also. They're very interested in studies and everything. Mind utilization. Vijnana, they're also interested in godly things. Vijnana, Astikyam. They also believe in things which others will question. Like there is life after death. Do you know that you have a soul? You have to work on your soul. Many people will question it, showing Kshatriya Swabhava or, to or a whatever Nastik Swabhava, which is Vaishya and Shudra Swabhava. So, but then this person will agree, he'll accept. So, this is Brahma Karma Swabhava. One who is interested in Brahma, who is going towards Brahma. He will not be so interested in money, because of that, he will not be very rich also. But today, Brahmins is not Brahmin. It's not a Brahmin. It is based on what you have picked in your life. Lord is saying very clearly. Then Lord says, Shauryam Tejo Dhritir Dharksham. The Shauryam. Shauryam is valor. In school, when little children are fighting, two boys will typically, you've always seen two boys rolling on the floor in school. So then two boys are fighting. Then one boy will go and stop them. Who is that? He's the king. He's the Kshatriya. Observe that kid. He's going to become a leader in future. Shaurya, he shows that valor. Teja, he'll show his strength. And because of his strength, the other kids, he can push them down. Dhriti, he has that willpower, internal strength. He may not be very big or huge to look at. A Shudra may be taller than a Kshatriya, body-born Shudra. But, who will be soldiers and everything. But, this person having that inner strength. Dhriti, Dhaksham, he's expert. He's an, expert. Whatever you teach quickly, he will learn. Like Arjuna was a pure Kshatriya, very skilled. You teach him cooking, he'll learn cooking. You teach him dance, he will learn dance. You teach him, studying, he'll study. Some kids are like that, very skilled. They may not know things, but they're very eager to learn carpentry, anything. Okay. So you may find a Brahmana Kshatriya mixed kid also. You know, so it's a very common thing. The Daksham. Yuddhe cha api apalayanam. Apalayanam is to run away. This is Lord is poking Arjuna, saying, don't run away from the war. That is not Kshatriya Bhava. Okay, Yuddhe cha api apalayanam. Don't run away. Okay, this also can be translated as to say, and that you, when you're faced with something very difficult situation in life, getting very morose and sad and depressed and I'll commit suicide is a Shudra Swabhava, or it's a Vaishya Swabhava. It's a very lowly Swabhava. Don't go give in to that. So this child is not looking for, again, money. He's doing it because he's an expert, he's skilled, he's enthusiastic to learn. So you see, and he's full of valor and strength and eager. You can see the difference between a Brahmana and a Kshatriya. It's definitely the Brahmana kid knows it's wrong, but he'll just walk away. He'll be indifferent there when the fight is happening. But the Kshatriya kid will stop there and stop the fight. Because the Brahmana kid will be somewhere else. He'll be perhaps immersed in his study or learning something new, something like that. So there's a difference. It's very nice to see the children, like that. Then he says dhanam, large-heartedness, we're giving away things. Ishwara bhavascha, he feels like he's the king. Typically amongst all cousins, you will see one or two Kshatriyas, some Vaishyas, Shudras. But they'll all be the siblings of the same set of parentage, you see. So it is Krishna saying very clearly, it's Swabhava. It's your personality from inborn qualities. Swabhava. Kshatram karma Swabhava. Kshatriya. Then he says, Krishi Gauraksha Vanijyam. Very naturally, he'll tend to farming, Gauraksha, taking care of, cows and things like that. Vanijya, and doing some business with something like shop owning or opening up a business. Some people say, मुझे एक business करना है, मरने से पहले वो दुकान में, वो करना है. I want to open, sari business or something like that. This is typically Vaishya Karma. See, in ancient India, Vaishya Karma was not considered to be very superior. It was important. 60% of the world was Vaishyas in ancient India also. It continues to be in this world also because this whole world only is very rajasic. So Lord says Vaishya Karma Swabhavaja. But, in ancient India, they had a priority of how respect is to be given. The priority of respect, the highest respect was given to the person with the highest wisdom. Nothing else. The king would stand up and give his throne to a rishi. A rishi may be in penury. He might be totally, not having a single rupee. But the Lord will, the king of the country will give him respect. So that was the ancient Indian tradition, which is Lord is also saying. Because wisdom is the highest wealth that we have. That he says, prajna pujanam, he says, no? That is also a kind of a tapas, self-discipline. You have to worship the people. That's why even today, India, we have so much respect for Kavi. Because Kavi is associated with Jnana, Vijnana also, right? And so Lord says like that. Then next importance was given to the person who would protect your country, and that is the king and the Kshatriya. And then the Kshatriya class, they were feared also, and they were very strong physically also, and they were, given respect. Third, for their valor. Even today, we get scared of Kshatriyas. Like, we are scared of, the administrative office, the police, and things like that. They're all Kshatriyas, the army, and whenever we do something, we don't want to go against them. Then Vanijya. Vanijya is, then respect has to be given to money. Third importance is money. Whereas in the Western culture, money is the most important. So that it's a heavily Rajasic Tamasic culture. Indian civilization had a very Sattvic Rajasic culture. So see how the gunas were distributed. So then Lord says, Krishi Gauraksha Vanijyam Vaishya Karma Swabhav. Paricharyatmakam Karma Shudrasyapi Swabhav. Paricharya means to do service to others. They will grow by doing service only. This is very important because it is not a lower cadre or something. 50-60% of the population may be actually Shudras actually. It is important, because this is This is an evolutionary scale, and people grow from animal yoni, right? So from the animal yoni, instantly when you become a human, you can't use your brain so much. Especially if you go to Adivasi community and all, they cannot. Even you push them into studies. Very few maybe Brahmins or Kshatriyas or Vaishyas there. Most of them will be Shudras. In the sense, they will be body bound. Food is very important for them. They will eat a lot of food, which is okay because they're body bound. They will use the animals. And then it's an evolutionary scale. And then you try to put them through school, some will not push through. They will hate school. Ultimately, they will become perhaps maximum a plumber or maybe a something. They cannot. So it's wrong to actually say push them to school, and instead they should be like ITI, or like we have no vocational training today. We have Gramin Yoga, Rojgar Yojana, all these things. That is for them to help them, and it's important. That is the way we get them. But out of that, you get a Brahmin child. That is also possible. It's all your inborn nature. I had a servant many years back. She was from Adivasi community. She used to eat very well, which is fine. But she used to tell me, I used to always ask her, तुम पढ़ाई क्यों नहीं किया? तुम इतने बड़े हो गए. She was around 30, 32. तुमने she used to say, दीदी हम ना 6 साल 2 क्लास में बैठे थे. हमको खा भी नहीं आता था. सो उसके बाद she was a Christian. So उसके बाद वो नन लोगों ने बोला वो नहीं सीखेगा और उसको किचन में काम सिखाएगा. तो वैसे मैं किचन सीखी. So that is when I immediately related. So it's like 6 years in second standard. You cannot even understand kaka kiki. I ke bina you can. So that is typical Shrodha. But trust me, I couldn't work 1% of how much she could work. She had so much energy in the body. She would eat and she would work, and she loved working. It's a beautiful personality to have. She could just work and work and work from 5 o'clock gardening, and even in the afternoon. She said, I love working. I'll go and I will work because I like to cut, prune. In free time, she'd put the garden in it. So this is an example, typical example of Shudra. Very beautiful personality. And in ancient India, all the servants, everyone in palaces, and all were Shudras. And they were so respected by the Kshatriyas. So very respected. Vidura was the son of a Shudra, Brahmin child of a Shudra mother. But why? Because the father was Vyasa Maharshi. You remember the story of Mahabharata. So one of them was a Brahmin. The mother was a Shudra. So the child also became so wise. So there might be chances like that. And this is not at all derogatory. Even if you read the books of very great philosophers, they say the world can be easily classified into 4 types of beings. 4 types of beings. The Shudra kid will never go beyond studying high school, or even, not reach college, because they'll just drop out of school. You can't push them, that's okay. You see, in America, even in Germany, people don't study. Kids there don't. The other day, I was talking to one of my brothers. He was saying that they don't want to go beyond 12th standard or even 10th standard. They will immediately go into something like ITI workshops, which is very highly paid there because very few people. So they'll get into it, and that is their work, and they'll have kids and they'll live life happy merry-go-round. So that is a typical activity. Now, you may not like it. Some people may have issues with it, but that's how the world is. You slowly progress. It's written in even Swami, this book. So we'll do the last shloka. That says, स्वे स्वे कर्मण्यभिरता संसिद्धिं लभते नरा स्वकर्मनिरतः सिद्धिं यथा विन्दति तच्छृणु. So this is not the last shloka. I will just give you an idea of this because it's related to Brahmana Kshatriya Vishnu. Is a Sweswe Karmanya Abhirata. Whatever internally inborn quality, Abhirata, get busy in it. Samsiddhim labate nara. You will be very successful in that. You may become a very famous plumber or a carpenter. It's okay. Swakarma nirata siddhim. Whatever is coming from you inside, no personality, do that. You'll get siddhi. Yata vindati. How it will come, I'll tell you. Listen. Yata pravritti bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tamabhyarcham siddhim vindati manava. So Lord says, However your personality is inside, yata pravrittim bhutanam, of you are a living entity, whatever is your pravritti, yena sarvam idam tatam. So there is a being who protects everyone, that is Brahma, yena sarvam idam tatam, all the bhutas, yata pravrittim swakarmana tam abhyarcha. So according to your mental proclivity, you worship that being. Siddhim vindati manava. Meaning, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, how you want to worship Lord, worship. By worshipping Lord, you will find success in whatever is your personality, desired personality trait, which is causing you to do a certain work. So, worshipping the Lord gives success. That's what Lord said. Then Lord just qualifies this statement in two shlokas. I'll just quickly tell you what it is. We'll do this again tomorrow. It says, Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmastu nishtitat swabhavaniyatam karma kurvannapnoti khilbisham. This is very important for our children, grandchildren, everything. This is Shreyan swadharma vigunaha. You feel that going to the software industry is much more superior to being a carpenter. No, he says. No. So you feel it is viguna. Being a carpenter is viguna without perfection. Huh? You say paradharma so anushtitad. So that carpenter internally you love carpentry. Okay, but you because everyone is saying be a software engineer, you'll get so much money, you want to push into software. You'll not be successful there. Shreyan swadharma. Even if you feel it's viguna, society says it's not right. You do that only. You want to do dhobi work, do that. Open a dhobi shop. Do istri. You will be successful in it when you do it with Shraddha to the Parabrahman. Paradharma so anushtitat. Even if you become a software engineer, you will not be successful there. Swabhava niyatam karma. According to your swabhava, what is naturally coming, do that karma. Kurvan na apnoti kilvisham. Kilvisham is mistakes or sin or wrong thing. You will not suffer if you do that. Most of the problem is when everyone tells you have to be an engineer, you have to be a doctor. Hundreds of engineers in Bangalore have opened panipuri shops or taxi companies. Why? Because they were never an engineer. But engineering colleges came everywhere. Doctors leave their professions and they open a furnishing shop. I was interested. You will see in yoga universities, doctors studying yoga. They were a Brahmin. They were asked to do something else. So you see, identification of the child's swabhava is very important for the parent. And to allow the child to flourish, not let the society, सब लोग के बच्चे उसने IAS कर लिया, तुम भी करो. बेचारे को इतना पुश करे, उसको क्या करना है, उसको सारी लहंगा का दुकान खोलना है, खोलने दो ना. Let him find success in it. Beauty parlor खोलना है, तो क्या हुआ? There are people who become excellent beauticians, who are earning lakhs and millions more than an IAS officer, who are very successful in the world. Let Siddhim Vindati Manava. Identify, see how perfect Lord Krishna's advice is for every child, every teacher, every parent should know this. Let the child do. But observe it. Know the teachings. What is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra? Don't judge. Allow the child to flower naturally and he will be very successful. If he wants to be a dancer, why are you pushing him to be an IPS officer? It's a very common thing. They'll never be happy. You will see that is the reason IIT may, especially they say SC/ST ko 20%, shoot, or you get even 30% mark will make you, go into IITs. They were never interested in Brahmana work. That SC/ST kid was pushed into IIT. What will he do? He'll commit suicide only, he'll hang. He's not interested. So follow the scriptural injunctions. Bhagavan Krishna is very powerful. Lord says, sorry, I'm taking 2 minutes more. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadoshamapi nathyajet. This is your own work. Identify what you work. Sahajam karma kaunteya. It is natural to you, kaunteya. Sadoshamapi nathyajet. Even if you feel you're not going to get money, don't give it up. Nathyajet. Sarvarambha hi doshena dhumenagnivavritaha. Because every work is not perfect. Even if you look at Narendra Modi's job, even there'll be imperfections in that job. Even a king will be depressed sometimes. So depression can happen anyway, but do your swabhava karma. I give you an example of myself. because the entire world was studying MBA, I went and studied MBA because of course the family, everyone said, okay, study MBA, everyone gets big jobs. I did get a big job, but I was fished out of water in the corporate world. I was very anxious, very frustrated. I did not know of course, God pushed me into training. I started doing corporate training. I love teaching. I love studying wisdom activities. God came naturally from the age of 4. So I was born a Brahmin, but I went into the activity of a Vaishya, like earning money, making a lot of money, but it didn't appeal to me. So somehow naturally, I'm back into the Brahmin activity. So you observe what activity you wanted to do. You will find Siddhim Vindati Mana. Sahajam karma. It will be so natural for you, teaching, training, wise, intelligence given to God, surrendered to God. Natural to Brahma karma. So like that sahajam karma kaunte, it will be so natural. Sadosham api nechadet. And you will not get any money from that by doing Brahmin activity. You will be poor. It's okay. I had a teacher in my university used to get 500 rupees salary per month because in our university they don't give money. He's a pure Brahmin. He was a software engineer in Atlanta. He came and joined Vyas. He says, I'm so happy here for 500 rupees. Khana milta hai, sona milta hai, ek room mein. I can study the Yoga Sutras and, I can Yoga Vashishta the whole day. I'm so thrilled. I'm so joyful. He still doesn't earn any money. 500 rupees was his stipend for 10 years. Who will work? And he was in Atlanta. He was so unhappy. He said he was so unhappy in his work. He was earning 2.5 lakhs rupees. This is way back in 95, 2000. 2.5 lakhs rupees that time. And he's not bothered about that money. Who taught me the Gita? So that was pure. He himself gave example of it. So he says, identify what you want to do that. Just do that. Forget about money. 2 रोटी खाना चावल मिलता ही रहेगा. ईश्वर तुमको कैसे ना कैसे दिलाएगा वो. Very interesting. So sahajam karma konte. Sadoshamapi natyajit. Sarvarambhai doshena domena. These are beautiful teachings. Okay, I will stop with this. If you have any doubts, I've taken 10 minutes extra, but these are very important. You must teach your children, your grandchildren. You identify what your grandchildren are, your children are, and give them that accordingly. You give them that, what you call that push. Don't go according to societal pressure. And we need everyone. We need brahmanas in this society. When you see some brahmanas, so-called sons of Brahman, they will be doing puja in the temple, but the only thing they will be asking is chanda. They'll be only looking at the pay, plate. How much thali mein kitna paisa gira? बस उतना ही देखते रहेंगे. So that is a Krishi Gauraksha Vanitya. He's a Vaishya. He's sitting there for the name's sake and doing puja. So he should actually be running a shop, a sari ka business or kuch. So you see, uska puja is not going to be successful. So that is why we should be very careful how we choose our activities, our professions, our children's professions. And that's why Gita is important. Very important. It gives you the kernel of how to run the society. Let's take a moment of silence. Bowing down, clasping Guru's feet, we say, Om Guru Narayane Samarpayami. Okay. I request Gauriji to chant for us from 29 to 47. 48, I think we did from 29 to 48. That's quite a chunk today. It's a big chapter, Gauriji is there? Sit for hours. I remember my professor used to sit and make charts for all of us to understand this. Very deep detail. He used to make charts. Is to show how sattva and tamas can be very confusing and very similar. Because there's also pramad alasya there. And sattvic person is also very quiet and is to give us, detailed analysis of all this. Very nice. Gita is an endless ocean, keeping deep. And it gives new pearls. For those who want to leave, let us take a moment of silence and bowing down, clasping Guru's feet, our Ishta's feet. We say, Om Guru Narayane Samarpayami. God Guru to everyone. If you have any doubts, please ask. If not, we can close.
Didi, I had a doubt. So in this chapter, like I couldn't attend from the beginning, but I attended part of the last one and the whole thing today. So we can say that there is no hierarchy as such, that we should not say that Brahman is superior to Kshatriyas, Kshatriya to Vaishyas, and Vaishyas to Shudras. All of them seem to be equal in God's creation. And also, somewhere it is said that Vishnu stays in the feet, like Vishnu's place is the feet in terms of devtas. And somewhere else it also says that Shudras are the feet and Brahmanas are the head, I think, and Vaishyas are the either the arms or the abdomen, and the Vaishyas are the thighs, something of that sort. So I don't know if these two are related, but Vishnu's place is also said to be in the feet or the legs, and Shudras also seem to be similar. So by that token, also we cannot say that Shudras are inferior. So I don't know how it happened then, because in modern India, or not maybe in modern, but slightly till 50, 60 years back, this was very clear that Brahmanas and Kshatriyas were considered very superior and the others were considered very inferior. So just wanted some thoughts on that from you. Thank you.
Very nice question, Abhaya. Very beautiful question. Let Gurji respond. So basically, Ishavasya Upanishad, it says that we have Purusha. He has four parts to him. The head of the Purusha is the Brahmana, and the arms are the Bahus are the Kshatriya. Udara, stomach is the Vaishya, and the legs, feet is the entire legs is the Shudra. So now this shows something very interesting. Tarama, the disciple of Guruji, also very advanced disciple of Guruji, she writes in her World Cycles, that book, she says that any civilization for its progress needs four kinds of castes, which are called as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And if you want it or not, in any civilization, these four kinds of classes do exist. It is just an evolutionary scale. And without Shudras, you can't really build any country or any civilization. And without the Vaishyas, you can't carry on the stomach fulfilling activities. Any kind of stomach will not get fulfilled. Without the Kshatriyas, protection and survival becomes an issue, even against wildfires, raging fires, or wild animals or storms and things like that. Kshatriyas are the ones who will go and help there. And without Brahmanas, the evolution of that civilization into a higher sphere of pure sattva is very difficult. So these four are always mixed. The number will go on increasing depending on the yuga that specific planet is going through, whether it is Treta or Kali or Satya Yuga or the Rajasic Dwapara Yuga. So accordingly, the number of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra varies accordingly. Now, having said that, these four are very important. As much as the feet is required for the body, stomach is also required. As much as the stomach required, hands required, and above all, the brain is required. So, if you look at it, Brahmanas are actually the rulers. They are actually in the evolutionary scale. They are, because even if you look at Param Guruji's writing in the Holy Science, he does say that it is an evolutionary scale. So when you go higher and higher up, you are going into Brahma. So it is after Brahma, you attain moksha and you liberate yourself. So yes, there's an evolutionary scale. Having said that, when everyone's living in the world, everyone is equal. It's as important as four angas for the body. So how it cropped up in India is very simple, because it was Kali Yuga and man was already deluded. Before that, it had already cropped up. You can see that Karna is always pulled down saying Sutaputra throughout the Mahabharata. Even you can see Draupadi is trying to be disrobed and abused. So Mahabharata times already, which was the descending Dwapara Yuga, the beginning of the Kali Yuga, people had already deteriorated to a definite deep degree, very high degree, very high degree. And that is why Bhagavan Krishna had the war, so that at least the Rakshasas could be wiped out. Otherwise, those Rakshasas would have eaten up the rest of the civilization in the next 2400 years, which is the descending and ascending Kali Yugas. So Lord Krishna wiped them out to a large extent and sent them to Patala Lokas. So we know that story. So that is why the war was. But in spite of that, the thought process remained, and then they continued to have the distinction. Having said that, in ancient times, the distinction is not very heavy, because you will see there were intercaste marriages between Brahmanas. Did marry, like for example, Vidura was born with through Vyasa Maharshi through the Dasi, right? So, so like that, there were wives who were Shudra wives, like that, wives who are this one. But generally, it wasn't allowed, because the thought processes will be very different for a Brahmana woman to be married to a Shudra man, or a Shudra man. That's why Arjuna gets worried saying Varna Sankara will happen, Varna Sankara. Because a Brahmana woman will be very deeply spiritual and deeply interested in God. A Shudra man will be highly body bound, addicted to substances. Then the children will be very different kind, very confused lot will be born, which is very, very painful. That the child to be born itself will be very difficult, because a part of his DNA will be very addictive and intensely, whatever, impulsive. Another part of his DNA will have the pure part. So which part will predominate? So that is why it was not allowed in those times. Having said that, there are exceptions to the rule. So this is all part of nature. The drama has to go on. So even in the animal kingdom, you will see like you can see for example, typical brahmanas in the animal kingdom is an elephant. A cow is a brahmana. It's very pure. It is very sattvic, and even an elephant, it's very pure sattvic. It will always protect, save, help. You can say a kshatriya is typically a lion or a tiger. It's called the king of the jungle. So it is there not only in humans. This kind of division of gunas is there even in the animal kingdom. You like it or not. You'll see a monkey which is typically very greedy. You give him 10 bananas, he'll keep stuffing his mouth, right? So that's typically you'll see, Vaishya Sabhav there. I don't know what's the Shuddha Sabhav. You'll have to perhaps look at animal like a crocodile, which is like creepy crawly, like lizard or something. Maybe, but you see, there's a typical class distinction in everything. And it will be in aliens also. It's there in devas also, I'm sure. The ruling class of the devas will be ruling. They are Vayus and the Adi Devas and the Vasus and all these people. And then you'll have the worker class devas who continue to work. When you read the Puranas, you get it. It's there everywhere. So on and so forth.
Yes, Didi, got it. Thank you.
But having said that, the moment a Brahmana or Kshatriya says, he starts touting his stuff, saying, "Okay, I am the greatest," then he becomes a Shudra. It's also the mental quality of a person, right? So these are very small nuances, but then it's all God's creation. Why did He make the, tiger so vicious? It's His creation. It's part of the nature. So they don't know who's right, who's wrong, but it is there. This is an evolutionary scale. This definitely an evolutionary scale, because after Brahman, it's moksha, right? So in evolution, that is why he is respected the most. And Kshatriya is required. All are required, but in terms of respect. But they have no right to, because a Brahmin who has so much knowledge also, without, Vaishya, he can't survive. He can't eat his food. He'll be hungry only, die out of hunger. And without a Shudra, none of his works will be achieved. He can't just sit and study the Vedas the whole day. He has to have a Shudra helping, and he needs the Kshatriya to protect him. Otherwise, whatever knowledge he has, he won't have Bahubal. He'll not be Brahmins will not be very strong, well built, not tall, strong physically. So they will be like, in a minute, the enemy will conquer them. So, all four are important. She got it right.
Yes, Didi. Thank you.
Didi,
Yes, sir, go ahead.
see, you said it, and as Didi, one is that when you're hearing you, all looks very simple, but I think for the chapter 18 especially, a flow chart is required. That gunas, no, what way, and I see the first this time only I understood the fourth chapter, fifth chapter, sixth chapter, no, the karma yoga, then gyan, karam, sannyas yoga, and then karam sannyas yoga. When I understood that, then I was able to connect that, okay, why Lord is telling again and again the same thing, but it's from a different context. Here also, when we hear something that gunas, no, different things, it becomes an okay. It looks very simple, but at a macro level, again, slight confusion. That may be enough. Whenever you are finished this, if you can give throw light only at the chart, I would say fish chart, no, or a flow chart, that will be wonderful. Second is that
You're talking about the gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas.
yes, and then no, because all these things and what are the expressions, what are the karmas of those
And
by
you
one.
Google, sir, just Google definition of Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic given by Bhagavan Krishna. You will get so many charts, such beautiful charts,
Acha.
and you'll get Dhriti, Sukha, Jnana, Jnaya, Karta, Karma, Tyaga, everything you'll get. Tapa, Shaucha, I mean Tapas, all that 17 chapter explanation, 14 chapter, it's so many rampant. Swamiji has also given us one or two charts. I think Arunadi will have it. Arunadi or Inadi or whoever who had attended. Didi, do you have? Swamiji has also made many charts. So it is very simple. You can find it.
Didi, all of us have it now because last time when we went, Swamiji sent it in the group itself.
Yeah, yeah. So then, yeah, maybe you can you just post it if you have access to it? Can you
You
just
can
post it?
share it and do good.
Yeah, it's
Second is
very
that
simple.
really the question is now. Last time when we talked of sannyasi and tyagi and yogi, three people, no, at the physical level and at the mental level. Can
Yogi
they,
is not this. Is sannyasi tyagi. Yogi we did not speak. Did we speak in the
because
18th chapter?
sometimes we
Yogi?
talked of yogi also. Okay, that can yogi be a sannyasi? Can sannyasi
No,
be?
basically a yogi is a tyagi.
Acha.
Tyagi and a yogi are similar, all 99% similar. Sannyasi will be all in the 17th chapter. That is the distinction. Okay, you go on. Question, you ask question, sir.
But
Tyaga and
really,
sannyasa different.
this now I'm saying at the mental level, that it means the tyagi can also be sannyasi, and sannyasi can also be tyagi at different no at
Yeah,
physical level.
so that is why, see, explain. That's what Krishna says, no? In one of the shlokas, he comes back and explains that a sannyasi is he uses the word sannyasi for a tyagi when he's explained after in that tyaga explanation. See, I'll tell you, very simple. In the beginning, sannyasi gives up everything. He basically goes away to Himalayas wearing kavi. Okay. Kamyanam karmanam nyasam. Mentally also he has to relinquish. Physically also he relinquishes. Tyagi mentally relinquishes, physically does not relinquish. For example, Krishna is a tyagi. He marries, he's a king, he has children. Janaka Maharaj was a tyagi. Okay, so he marries, he has children, everything. But his mind is with God. So Krishna says, of the two, whom do you like? He likes a Tyagi. Why? Because he is doing the role play in a very detached manner. So he's a Tyagi. The Tyagi is same as Yogi. Yogi is also doing that. He'll do karma, or he may do jnana, or he may do bhakti, or he may do dhyana. He may do any of the four types. But he has mentally relinquished the fruits for everything. He says Narayanit Samarpya does everything. जो होना है होने दो निंदा आत्मा संस्तुति जो भी हो वही है भक्त वो ही ईश्वर का सबसे प्यार है तो त्यागी is a yogi that way. Do you understand? Then the last one is a bhogi. He's enjoying everything. He's enjoying the karma. He's attached to karma. He's also enjoying the fruits. He'll not give up the fruits. He'll be excited, happy, joyous, whatever.
But
He's
the
the thing.
sannyasi also relinquishes all the this final fruits, no? Sannyasi
Yeah,
also.
yeah, but he is also relinquished wife, children, house, घर society में रहता भी नहीं है उसको सन्यासी बोलते हैं. That's what Krishna is saying. Tyagi lives in the society. He marries. He has kids. He'll do sadhana. He may do karma yoga. He may do jnana yoga. He may do bhakti yoga. He may do anything. But he'll be in the society, very much in the society. And he might be more superior than you suppose it sannyasi somewhere there. In the Himalayas. There might be a tyagi in the world, like Larry Masha. He is equal to what? 10,000 sannyasis in the Himalayas. Or more than that, 1 million sannyasis. Such a great tyagi. Such a great tyagi, renunciant. So you get the point. It's all happening in the mental level. That's what Krishna goes on saying throughout. So
So what
every
you're saying,
karma,
sannyasi all goes to the Himalayas. They leave the worldly place.
yeah,
Go
yeah,
somewhere.
sannyasi. Tyagi doesn't go.
This all sadhus though which come to this Ganga Stan, no, then they go to Himalaya. They're all
Yeah.
sannyasis.
Yes.
Sadhus, no sadhus.
Yeah, they're all sannyasi. Samnyasa, complete they langot पहन के घूमते रहते हैं. कपड़े भी नहीं पहनेंगे बोल के. So actually they should drop the langot also. Technically, if they're doing samnyasa. That's why Krishna says, you see, nobody can be actually a sannyasi in this world, he says, no? As long as the body you have is happening, is there, you have to do yajna dana tapa karma. Even that is doing something. So you can't really do some nyasa, complete nyasa you can't do. That's what Krishna explains to Arjuna. Very technical minded Krishna is. He's saying, see, how are you saying I'm a sannyasi? There's nothing called sannyasi really, because technically you should be doing some worship. That is also activity. You have to eat food. That is also activity. Dana, you have to do dana, and then you have to do tapa. You have to struggle. That is also some activity. Samnyasa. So what? You can't really give up everything. So it is okay. You do be in the world, but mentally relinquish. That is the highest teaching of the Gita, which is a perfect teaching for mankind. Mental relinquishment. That's why Guruji explains this in Gotaks Arjuna. Even if you kamyanam karmanam, that I may get desire, so I will not marry. I may get stuck in this desire. I mean, or out of acting like an udasin because I'm lazy. That is tamasic tyaga, tamasic sannyasi. That also is very difficult situation to be in, because you go to the Himalayas, you'll be thinking of, many things will come into your mind. That's why Guruji doesn't advise sannyasa for every monkhood. There has to be a certain level of high level of achievement to become a. He's called a Sankhya. He's called a Sankhya, right? In the 3rd chapter. One who knows already. Like who can be a sannyasa? Like a Ramana Maharshi. There is no thought of anything at all. He just sits there. The food is not there. There's no kapada. The ants are biting his feet. That is a sannyasi. Who's in deep, that is sannyasa. That was all in high states, and not every can, even 1% of the population won't be like that. So that's why Lord says, be in the world. Do tyaga here only. That is also samnyasa. Mentally, you've given up everything. To see the distinction Krishna mentions, and that's why he goes on to explain everything in detail. तुम क्या बोल रहे हो? तुम्हारा बुद्धि को तुम झांक के देखो, कहाँ है तुम्हारा बुद्धि, अभी कहाँ स्थित है, उसको देखो और समझो कि वो सत्व है, रजस है, तमस है. तुम अपना गोल देखो जिंदगी का, तुम क्यों क्रिया कर रहे हो उसका गोल तो देखो. और ये है तुमको एक्चुअली ब्रह्म से प्यार है, तभी तुम ब्राह्मण का सात्विक क्रिया कर रहे हो. तुम अपना एंग्जाइटी निकालने के लिए क्रिया कर रहे हो तो राजसिक क्रिया कर रहे हो. You're expecting the restlessness to go and anxiety. होता है, we all go through this. रजस कभी रजस क्रिया होता है, कभी सात्विक क्रिया. सात्विक का फल सात्विक होता है, मतलब सच्ची में सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन के पास हो जाते हो आप लोग. रजसिक करे तो रजसिक फल आएगा, बिकॉज प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते ना. क्रिया में इमीडिएटली देयर इज नो विपरीत इफेक्ट, इंस्टेंटली आपको रिजल्ट मिलता है. सो लाइक दैट अकॉर्डिंगली आपका सब कुछ ऐसे देखो, एवरीथिंग को फर्क फर्क के देख सकते. इसलिए हम नहीं देखेंगे तो भी वो सर्वाधि साक्षी होता है ना, हम देखता ही रहता है, वो सब देखता रहता है, उसको सब मालूम है. तो आफ्टर डेथ इफ वी से कि लॉर्ड मुझे क्यों मोक्ष नहीं मिला, मैं उधर क्यों नहीं पहुंचा, मैं तो सोचा था मैंने इतने साल क्रिया किया. डोंट आर्ग्यू एट ऑल विद द लॉर्ड, बिकॉज लॉर्ड ऑलरेडी. तुमने क्या क्रिया किया, सारा तुम्हारा मन कहीं भटक रहा था, ऊपर नीचे तुम सोच रहे थे, हो ही नहीं रहा था कुछ भी. तो तमस रजस क्रिया हो रहा था, तो सात्विक फल कैसे मिलेगा, मोक्ष कैसे मिलेगा. So like that, just giving Kriya example, because most of us are Kriya yogis here. But so everything, buddhi, dhriti, that level of purity, And Guruji says, don't fear. Keep doing, and an invisible hand will come and snap at it. You will become a sattva and you'll be pulled out. So keep doing. Who's that? Guru. Guru alone has that power to do that. So we have to keep doing. So like that. What we read, what we watch, what we
We have
listen.
talked so much about guna that this sattvic, this is tamasic, rajasic, but still, finally, he says, this you have to be nirgun. What is the nirgunana we have to do? Means
So
everything.
Nirguna is that three chore wala story, na sir. Brahma Tattvam is Nirguna because Brahma is Kutastha, right? Kutastha is beyond Prakriti. Prakriti में ही all creation में तीन गुणा है. अच्छा क्रिएशन से जब तुम बाहर जाओगे तब तुम निर्गुण बन जाओगे. जब तुम बॉडी में रहते हुए भी निर्गुण होगे. But like you said, since the very fact that you have a body, means there's a mild bit of tamas, but there's no attachment to tamas. Like Ramakrishna Paramaham says, as long as you're existing in this creation, you will have 1 to 2% of tamas. And great jnanis keep the tamas. Like Guruji used to overeat, Krishna used to steal butter. They'll do some tamasic activity. Why? Because they have to keep their body in the world, in this tamasic or rajasic world, right? So then Shirdi Sai Baba is to smoke the chillum. Okay, he's to smoke. Ramakrishna Paramahansa is to keep chewing pan. Like, are they interested in pan? No. They are great jnanis, but they have to chew that pan. They have to have the tamasic addiction. Why? Because otherwise the body will disintegrate in this world. You see, every great soul will have some kind of little tamasic guna, not because he has it, but because he takes it on to keep his body in physical this one. So sattvic, rasic, tamasic guna to be in this world, you need. And when you go out of this world, moksha, Brahma Tattva unity, separalization, and nirguna. Next tomorrow's we'll do nirguna only. Lord explains the nirguna state.
Thank you, Didi. Thank you. More and more clarity is getting more into.
Yes, very nice, sir. Only remember there are two beings, Purusha and Prakriti. Prakriti does everything. Gunas are in her, you and I, all of us. And once we enter the Prakriti, we are stuck. Freedom can happen only by working through the gunas, evolving, and then slowly moving out. Having said that, this is Brahma's game. You and I are Brahmas. We come here and we purposely wipe out our memory that we are Brahmas because there's no joy. If we remember that we are Brahma and continue, we'll be totally detached. We'll never love our wife, we'll never love our children, we'll never get attached. So the Brahma itself wants to go through all this. I give you a very interesting example. Guruji, when he was in America, and most of you might have read it in Conversations with Yogananda. One of the monks, he in Western world, he was there in the ashram, was very sincere. After many years in the ashram, one day he left. He just left. He got married and walked away. So when he went away, some of the other brothers, other monks, they were so sad and unhappy. They told Guruji, Gurudev, so sad. How many lives will he take to get moksha now? Gurudev thought for a while and he said 11 more incarnations. After that, he'll get moksha. He will meet me again. Then he'll get moksha. Then they were like, oh no, he could have got moksha now just by being with a Brahmagyani, you can get moksha, right? So we also can get moksha by just being with a Brahmagyani in Kutastha all the time. Guruji, we can get moksha too. Okay, it's not only them. So then they were all exclaiming. So Guruji said, why are you exclaiming? Who's in a hurry? That Brahma Tattva, he is also Brahma Tattva. He is not in a hurry. He perhaps has still some 10, 11 incarnations of gaming to happen in this world. So he's doing it. Let it happen. Who's in a hurry? Brahma is not in a hurry. There's nothing called time. Nobody's in a hurry. In this moment, at this time, we may feel we need moksha now. But actually, it's already been given. Like, we know when it's going to come. The Brahma already knows. Within us, the Brahma and Guru also knows. When the mokshas come, it has come. When it's going to come. Or after how many incarnations it will come. Everything is all set. Ishvara sarvabhuteshu ruddeshu arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutanam intrarudhani mahaya. So, तय है, सब तय है. Okay. We'll not do the discussion on free will and this one. It'll go to that now, I'm sure.
Thank you, Didi.
Thank you. Let's take a moment of silence and close. 6:50. Visualize Gurudev. Going and clasping Guru's feet, we say, Om Guru Narayane Samarpayami. Jai Guru to everyone.
Thank you, Jai Guru.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jai.
Jai Guru Didi.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jai Guru.
Right.
Jai Guru.